One of the coolest feature in Rails is delegated types. Now, this is not that well-known feature. Don't know why, but it's a really, really amazing when you're having a difficult relationship between data that you need to then map inside your Rails application. And in the documentation, you have a really nice example, and I'm not going to go through this. Definitely please start reading this, but what I'm going to do is show you my implementation on how I'm using delegated types. So first of all, let's start with like a project I have in my Git repository, and so source code is available. I will link it in the description. But what is happening is I have like a Basecamp clone where I'm pretty much I'm able to like and again, this is just like the core part of adding comments. So if I go to a project, I will be able to add a comment. Yeah. And I'm able to edit the comment, obviously, and someone else can come in. Yeah. And so you get the point. But the thing is, like, I'm able to also close the project and open the project, etc. And all these events are being recorded as entries in the timeline. Now, this is nothing difficult to do, but the thing is, like, Rails is providing really neat way how to do these kind of things straight out of the box with delegated types. So in the project we have entries, and if we go to the project entry, we are in the show action. So we are project/2, and if you go to the show view, really what we are doing, we are just saying, okay, project entries, and just render the entry. And the entry, based on what kind of type it is, we are rendering the partial responsible for the content. So nothing majorly complex, but the thing is, how is this modeled in terms of data? So project has many entries, and the entry is a delegated type for event, which is when you are, let's say, closing or opening the project, is 2, and comment is, yeah, obviously the comment. Now, let's have a look at the schema, what's inside. The comment is really just this. It has only data for the comment itself. No relationships, just here's the comment, which is currently only the description. As for the event, it's only like what kind of occasion it is, and like, it can be project closed or project open, project closed, yeah, and that's it. No relationships in terms of project or anything. The actual relationship between where that project, where that event or comment is supposed to be allocated, is associated, is based on entry. And the entry has the project ID, and the entryable type and entryable ID. Those are the delegated type fields. So basically, what this is doing. Anyway, so entry, delegated types, and now, oops. Now, what does this so in this particular case project, what I'm doing is like whenever you want to edit the comment, we'll edit the comment here. But what's happening behind the scenes? I'm doing all the controller actions of editing the comment directly on the comment controller. So update is happening where like I'm just updating the comment params here. So it doesn't make sense. Never mind. Only description. Sorry about that. I know actually that's the project ID. It's really the description that is important. So we are updating the just the description here, and we are then redirecting back to the comment, which is like a separate show action, which holds only the comment data. So this is back in the Turbo 7. So Turbo 8 was not released back then. It was like over a year ago where I built this. And what's happening is like when you call this, there is a turbo frame. There's a turbo frame for the comment. When you click edit, we are just replacing the turbo frame with the edit form. Whenever you're calling the update, you are calling the update controller action. And after the update is done, you are redirected back to the comment show. And that's what is being rendered. So standard turbo frame stuff. And obviously, you can have all those benefits like streaming, like turbo into Windows, etc. All that stuff. And obviously, this can be done much easier nowadays with Turbo 8, but maybe there are still use cases where you want to do it this way. So where's the benefit in this? It's really look in this particular case where I'm creating a comment, I'm creating like an entry and entryable, which is the data point where like the entry holds the comment or the event is the entryable. So I'm building it as a part of the like a separate model. So I'm creating an entry where the entryable is the comment data, and there are definitely use cases where this may be a good idea, but I will show you like a better way how to do this. And same goes, for example, for yeah. So basically, the biggest benefits of this is like you are able to render different models as a part of like going through one association. So here I'm just saying, okay, project, give me your entries, and it doesn't matter whether they are comments or whether they are events. I could do a pagination here. I could do like a search with the SQL here. All the stuff is open, and I'm independently able to edit in this case, the comments, etc. And so yeah, that's one way how to do this. So let's do something more difficult. So again, this is like a year ago. There are many things I would do differently now. So, but it's like a good starting point if you want to have a look at the source code. Now, let's do different project where like I'm doing something more complicated. Here we go. Login. So here I'm able to create two forms of post, a short post or a long post. Yeah. And it's not really important how we are able to change these forms. We'll do a separate video about that. But the thing is like, if I say, okay, I want a short post, yeah, I can save it. Now we have a short post. I can go edit it and turn it into log post. Yeah, save. Now it's a long post with a title and maybe some actual text styling. Yeah, and if we change our mind, we are able to go and change it back to log short post. And here we are with a short post without styling, something like a tweet. But anyway, how does this work? So we have a similar setup where we have like a entry entry is a delegated type for oh, sorry, that's actually a different project, like another project. Here we are. Entry is entryable delegated type. Sorry, it's a delegated type, or entry has a delegated type for entryables, which are short or post. And the post is really just, again, holder of data for post, which is just really in this case title and has an action text, has a rich content text for the content. And short is just like a title, just really the body of the post. And in this particular case, I'm doing something different. Whereas previously, whenever you wanted to do like an update, you were calling a command, control like a separate command. Here I'm actually doing, okay, all the actions are going to happen on the entries controller, where I'm doing like, I'm taking the entryable, the entry params, and I'm doing like a nested attributes for the entryable. For like a entry has a nested attributes for entryable attributes, which is basically for the short content or the post title, or in the post the content may be rejection text. So basically, I'm permitting to do changes, like when you are updating the entry, you are able to update the content title. And there's still more work that needs to be done here, but you get the point. It's not like a production final, but the thing is, whenever I go to like edit and submit the data for, let's say, like a long story, and hit save, what we are submitting is basically these params, where like, yeah, we are updating the entry, but we are also taking nested attributes for entryable type post, and entryable attributes are, we have a title and the content, which is the rich content. We are that way we are updating the actual, in this case, the post. And if it was a short, you would be able to just update. We are just updating the content of the short, and we are then just redirecting back to the entry, and entry is being displayed as a part of the rendering. Again, this can be hooked into turbo frames or whatever, and you can have an entire list of entries that can be updated based on turbo frames. Really nice. Now let's do something even more difficult. So here I have a note-taking application where you are able to, basically, if I do see a little typo, so basically you are able to have like a topic. Inside the topic you can do subtopic. Inside the topic or subtopic you can just create a note, a link, or whatever, and it goes even wilder, because like even inside the link you can actually create a link or note or whatever you want. If let's say, okay, I'd actually want a note for that link. And we have like a link inside the note for a link, and note can have even a subtopic or image or whatever. It can go wild, really, in terms of so data structure for this particular case. Here are the routes that are responsible for this, and it's like really the resource of entry can have many other entries. And so when we are creating an entry on an entry, it's like a shallow nesting, but really you are doing something like a path for entry /123/entry new, for example. And this is how it looks like. So here's the entry model. I'm not going to show entire source, but we have a delegated type entryable. So same as previous cases, but here we have a topic node link. Actually, there should be also an image, but never mind. And I'm also accepting nested attributes for entryable. Yeah, so we'll have the similar situation situation like on previous example where I'm accepting the nested attribute for the entryable. And in order of how then I'm able to reference like different types, I'm not able to, let's say, reference, okay, topic belongs to a link, for example, or link belongs to a topic, but it's really entry is belonging to an entry, and that entry has a delegated type. So it's not like a topic to a node has a node, and node has a link. It's really entry that happens to have an entry delegated type of topic. So that entry has another entry, and that entry, child entry, happens to have a delegated type of a link. So here really I'm saying, okay, the parent of the entry is an entry and the child of the entry is an entry. So typical parent-child association. Now, what this is allowing me to do is do a lot of wild stuff. Again, I'm able to just do the model for updating is this. For creating the entry that belongs to another entry is like this. Super slim code, and nothing else behind it. Really, if I go to entry params, and I don't want to show entire code, but it's really this. So it's nested attributes, and I'm just saying, okay, accept title, comma, content, file or URL. You know, for example, for node, you don't have a URL or file, but you get the point. Like based on the type, you are able to accept some kind of params. So if the entryable in this case was a node, I'm taking the title and the content. If the entryable was a topic, it will be just title. If the entryable was a link, it will be a title and a URL that is accepted. So let's have a look. So here, if I say, okay, under this subtopic, I want to add a node. Yeah, just submitting the node. Let's see. We have the post, and what we are sending is the entry. The entryable type is the node. So we are creating a new entry on the entry 99, which will be an entry. Just the entryable type is a node, and the nested attributes has the title and the content. If I say, let's say, okay, on this newly created entry, which is a node, I just want to add a link. Let's make it easy. The URL will be just localhost. Again, what's happening is really here's the post. We are creating, so on the entry 106, so that's the entry created before, we are creating entryable type link with entryable attributes. We have a link, we have the URL, and that's it. We are then like doing a redirect. The post is doing, oh no, it's actually turbo string, so I'm just telling it to stream the update, which will be like inserted inside the par, inside the turbo frame. So anyway, let's go how each individual turbo frames look like, or like how the partial is looking like. So here I have like entry, like so whenever I just say okay, render show or whatever, it's really just okay, I'm rendering the entry, yeah, and inside the entry, so it's the entry partial. The entry partial is this, so I'm having like a content for a specific type of entryable, which is in this case, okay, is it a topic? If it's a topic, the topic has like a header with like the the title and the menu button, and yeah, here's just if it's an empty, there will be like like some message saying the topic is empty, but not important really. This is really the important part. So it's just the partial for topic is really simple. Okay, if the entryable is a node, have more logic, but it's basically the same thing. It's like okay, because I'm able to do this thanks to turbo frames, and I will show you that later. But really, what I'm doing is the title and the content of the node, and basically, if I copy this short false, it's collapsed. If I say short true, no, it's not collapsed. And if I say short true, it's collapsed. So this is basically triggering true false state for that particular show action of the entry, whereas here it's basically doing like a collapse and reopen, but in reality it's making a call and updating a turbo frame that is inside here. Anyway, so that's, and again, for image, for link, you have the same thing. You have like a link is a link, just like a header and the link, that's it. So really the part displaying the content is this. Then we have a turbo frame for ability to add a new partial. So that means like if you add like I want to add a link, this is, which is currently not working, but okay, I want to add a note. Yeah, this is actually just inserting the form here inside this turbo frame tag, and I'm having like a nested because I need to reference the entry and the entry new form. It's actually just really simple, like taking like it's basically doing a DOM. Show you. It's basically a turbo frame with ID like yeah, entry 999, new entry, nothing special. And then I have the listing of the entries. So again, we have a DOM ID for entries, and I'm just rendering the entry children, which is in this case the entry entries, basically child entries. So if you remember in the entry children, just basically saying those are entries. So where I am the parent entry. So again, this is like a standard parent-child relationship. And that's it. Like all that logic, quite complicated in nature, is actually done with couple of lines of code. It's really thanks to delegated types and how they are working, the inner working, and the actual logic is actually useful. I have the entire functionality of nodes. I can write nodes for different topics here, reference just the part that I need. So say I want to share this, I will just share this part, but you can go back and have the entire all what is inside that subtopic or node or whatever. Yeah. So hope this is not too confusing, but again, everything is really delegated types. So there's no extra magic. It's really delegated types in Rails Turbo frames. And again, all this may be done differently. Pretty sure like a lot of senior people had coded something like this in the past. But the thing is like this is straight out the box, and it's actually usable really without problems, without the hassle around like creating your own solution. And sure, you could do a lot of the things like you can do here, like with single table inheritance. The problem is like once you need to model like a multiple, like I have like a topic, uh, like I have it's actually not needed. I need to do some refactor, but link is just like a title and URL. Node is just really a title because it will be inside entry. Node is just a title because again, title the node has rich basically the rich text, how it's called, action text has a rich text, and topic is only title. This is also not needed. It will be gone away in the next iteration. So this is all there is in terms of like the link, what link is containing, what node is containing, what topic is containing. As for the entry, like I have a mess here. I still didn't clean this up because I had like iteration before. Owner is the user. These are the delegated tab entries. There will be a positioning, created, updated that, yeah, and there's a public ID. So basically, whenever you are sharing the wherever you're sharing this, like a public ID, which is here. That's nothing special here. And the parent entry ID, which is like referencing another entry. So this is the data model for entry. Again, nothing complicated. Straight out of the box, really reusable. And I'm surprised how many. It's like one of those things, if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. But in this case, like the delegated types, it kind of seems like it's a hammer that's like, and everything is a nail, because in a lot of complex modeling, it looks like I'm always getting around with like the solution being the delegated types. And again, this is not like okay, use this by default. It's more like, as soon as you have something like similar, like these examples that I show, it's definitely the right choice, because then you can like hook in nicely the turbo frames. You can do like updates on the controller like separately, so they will be just updating particular turbo frames. So you can have lean controllers. You don't have to do complicated controllers. So yeah, that's it.